you doing?
Good. How are you?
Not bad, not bad. Welcome everybody to the commentary zone. As you enter the room, please give us a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button and the notification bell just because we asked you to. Tell a friend, have them come and join us. Okay, so on the docket today, we are doing our Bravo weekend review. And today's shows, we only have 3 today. So we have Married to Medicine, season 8, episode
Mhm.
11. I did not write down the name of the episode. Is that bad of me? Wait, no, Club Quarantine. So it's season 8, episode 11, Club Quarantine. Then we have Below Deck, Sailing Yacht, season 2, episode 12, Total Ship Show. Oof, these titles are getting harder by the week. And then Real Housewives of New Jersey, season 12, episode 14, Reunion Part 1.
Hmm.
Ooh. Okay, so let's get started with Married to Medicine. Club Quarantine.
Mm-mm-mm. I mean, I think it's just interesting. Like, so after looking back and reviewing Dallas, Toya's situation seems to be similar to Carrie's. Like, she's going through something, but she's not saying anything, and she's using alcohol to um deal with it. Because she's not the normal fun Toya. It's just like she's just very angry. Like, and it's like she wants
Yeah.
support, but she's not letting the ladies know like she needs support. If that makes sense.
But does she trust any of the ladies? Like,
I mean,
I don't think she trusts them enough. Like, remember what she said, I need people in my life that like that support me and are happy. And she doesn't find that with these ladies. I think she does have something going on, but I won't even blame the alcohol anymore because she's a sour individual, whether she's drunk or sober.
mm, I think alcohol just makes it worse. And it's like
It
you
does.
you can't say you want people to support you, but like how do they know you need the support if you're not saying anything? That's my whole thing.
Okay, here's my thing. Toya, it feels to me, wants pliable friends that she can control and will
Mm,
blindly follow her, like
okay.
Lisa and Carrie. You know, they know the rules of this show. Anila, she thought that she could bring in as part of the crew, but now she feels like Anila's a traitor to her. All because Anila wants to get to know the other girls.
Right.
You know
And
what
it's
I mean?
not
She
going
just
and
wants
it's
people to
not going along with
blindly
what she
be on
says.
her team. But she
Yeah.
also doesn't take into account that she's also attacking the people on her team.
Right?
And Anila standing up for herself. You can't be angry at that.
Not
I
at
don't know.
all. Not at all. So, what stood out for you in this episode?
Okay. Club Quad. The food spread was really nice. I really
Mm-hmm.
want to figure out who actually cooked it because I thought the chef cooked it. But then Quad took credit for it when the ladies came, also promoting her cookbook, which I guess the recipes are from. Um, I could have done without the dancing, the
Mm-hmm.
dance off, the thing. I liked when Simone was talking with her son Miles regarding budgeting and getting up out of her
Mm-hmm.
house and all of that. Um, what else? I did not feel comfortable during the conversation with Contessa and Scott at the doctor's office, where she took the opportunity to talk about their relationship issues while he was sticking a needle into her head. You know me and needles.
Mm-hmm.
I was real anxious during that scene. I'm not gonna lie. And did anything else stand out for me? Oh, the little back and forth um between Carrie and Quad regarding Carrie's investment property, which is very similar to Quad's home. Except Carrie's doesn't have the elevator, but Quad has one, and Quad dropped that it's a $30,000 difference. Unfortunately, I side with Carrie because elevators are not a good investment in a home unless it is a mansion,
Mm,
not
I got
not
you.
an attached house.
I think
Just
for me,
saying, that
what's
was a
the
wasted
what
30,000 Quad.
I think for me, what stood
Go
out
ahead.
was Jackie asking Simone about what's going on with Toya. She just seems mean lately. Um,
Mhm.
because Simone went to Jackie's house, they go to Quad's house. So then we go flash forward to when Toya and Jackie were sitting and having a conversation, and um Toya says Jackie doesn't get involved or speak up, and Jackie's like, I'm not getting
Mhm.
involved. And I'm going to side with Jackie on this. Why would she get involved in situations that
It's not
don't
her fight.
involve her? And this just goes back to Toya's insecurity with the doctors, because Toya has been
Mhm.
clamoring for their approval since season one. I'm like, you're never gonna get their approval, because the reason they don't respect her, like I keep saying this, is not the fact that she's not a doctor. That's not the issue. The issue is that you don't really do anything. Yes, you're a stay-at-home mom, but I think she had nannies or something,
Mhm.
taking care of the kids. And when the kids were going to school, like back before the panorama, what did you do all day but play tennis?
And drink.
Yeah, and then now that the kids are going back to school, you're going back to your old ways. So it has
Mhm.
nothing to do with you not being a doctor. It has everything to do with the fact that they don't respect you because they think you're lazy, and the fact that your husband can be working these long hours and then have to come home and cook and clean while you lay on the sofa. That's why they don't respect you. And I think that's her biggest problem, like especially with her and Jackie, because if you look through the seasons, Jackie has never really messed with Toya like that. Like she'll speak and be
Mm.
cordial, have small talk, but she won't have really any. I haven't seen any in depth conversations between her and Toya.
You know, what struck me in this episode, another thing, is something that you said with about Toya, like she could be an influencer. And then the scene with Anila going to Lisa Nicole's boutique and
Mm-hmm.
actually transacting a deal to be an influencer for her stuff. Toya's had so many opportunities with all of these women to do stuff like be an influencer, like how you were saying, and seeing how it was transacted between Anila and Lisa Nicole. I was like, why didn't Toya think of that first?
Because Toya's comfortable like in her life, and I think another thing that makes people mad with her, like she tries to high side like she's on the same level as other ladies financially when they all know it's not true. And we've seen over the years it's not true. So when you
Mm,
come in, how can I put this? The best way I can put this is when people feel like you're coming in as if you're better than when you have less than, that just leads them to dislike you even more. Because they're looking at her
okay.
like, how are you better than us when you're not nearly as accomplished as we are, and you don't have near the money we have? So where do you get off with this attitude? And I think that's the
Mm,
biggest crux of the issue.
right. Yeah. But I did like seeing that little interaction between her and Anila and Lisa Marie.
Oh yeah, that was
The
fun.
clothes. They did. Okay, whatever. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I thought that was good. What? Oh my God, Heavenly. Did you think Heavenly started the fight at Club Quad? Like the final blow up?
Mm, she brought up a situation, so you could say she did start it, but it wasn't entertaining. Well, that's what she does. That's her role on the show, is to be messy.
I I I I shouldn't enjoy her interactions so much, but I do. I really do. Look at this. I totally forgot to write down. Guys, the timestamps will be below once I get my act together. They'll be in the description so that you can zoom through which shows you don't watch. Um I had okay. So the Heavenly starts the fight. I feel like it went to 1 to 1,000 within, like, 2.2 seconds, and I thought, like, it was a lot between, Quad and Toya all over because does this boil down to something that, Toya said on a IG Live with Simone about Quad living in an apartment? Is that what I'm getting?
That's the way I took it.
Am I missing something?
When I think whenever you Here's the thing. I think whenever you attack someone on their home finances or anything, when you blatantly attack them, especially after they've gone through a divorce and how much work they put in to get what they have,
Uh-huh.
it strikes a nerve. And then what also strikes a nerve is that Quad is doing this as a newly divorced single woman.
Right.
Toya has a house, granted according to you know, people that she had to beg, borrow, and steal to get the money for the house and barely got it. Quad's looking at like, how are you gonna like talk about me and my four level townhouse, which I thought was great. I
Mhm.
personally liked it. When you spent 3 million on yours, you have neighbors that you can actually see, and you have to do a fire sale on your home. You couldn't even stay in your home for 3 years. So when you take all that into account, it's like, who are you to like come to me about my living situation? And she got that for 2 million. That's awesome. I'd rather honestly have her place than Toya's.
Wait, how much did Quad pay for her
I think they said
townhouse?
Quad was around 2 million.
I'm not spending 2 million on attached property.
I know you have a big deal about neighbors.
No, it is attached to another domicile.
Like I said, you have issues with spending big money
I
with and
know.
having neighbors.
I
I
know. I
understand.
know.
That's the issue. Like you don't like
I've
when
got
you're
to get
not
over that.
accomplishing anything on your own. When you're not accomplishing anything on your own, who are you to talk about someone else who is? Like you just don't have the breadth or the room. I think
Okay.
that's where it's coming from. Because Quad was under the impression
Did
that
they
her and
have
Toya
any
were cool,
other
but then
issues?
not that I'm aware of. I think what they had issues, they got over it, they squashed it. Quad thought they were cool because
Yeah.
they said that when Quad came to visit him, was like, we're because Heavenly asked like, oh, how are you and Toya? She's like, oh, we're like, we're cool. And she's like, really? Because you might want to see this. And that's when Heavenly showed Quad the lie.
Oh, okay,
Mm-hmm.
okay, and then that's when Quad dropped the info on beg, borrowing, and
Right.
stealing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this has been simmering. Okay, 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 got it. Because it just took off really fast for me,
Right.
and I thought well, I was missing some of the backstory. Okay, all right. One of these days I'll get it. Oh, geez. Was there anything else
For me,
in
no.
this
I mean,
episode?
this is a solid episode. Can't wait for the reunion. So just
Oh,
moving
wait.
along.
Did
Hmm?
you like Anita?
Poor Anita, Heavenly with them names.
Heavenly just can't be bothered to even remember a name.
Mm-mm. No.
Oh my God. Okay, so next show is Below Deck. This is season 2, episode 12, total ship show. We pick up after the second crash. Good Lord. Glenn, let me tell you something. This was good, but what I got out of this whole crash situation, the aftermath of the crash, Glenn is a true
Mm-hmm.
captain. Glenn did not try to place blame onto anyone or anything. He wanted to find out what happened. He went to everybody to try to piece it together. He said what happened with him up at the helm. He wanted to know what happened down at the back where they were backing into the dock and tying off. He wanted to get feedback from Colin. He went through all of that to totally analyze the situation as best as he could, get a plan together, figure out if there was a problem with that back door, and then get a solution to slap some paint on it and get onto the next charter.
Mm-hmm.
He took accountability. He didn't pass blame. Like, that's a true captain. Oh, and then he went down to call the insurance broker.
Right.
You
He just
know,
handled it so well.
yeah, and then I like that he, like, after he talked to all the guys to find out like what happened in each section, they went back to do a test to see if they
Mm-hmm.
could like simulate what happened. It didn't reoccur, but then again, I don't think that they could perfectly simulate that situation again because the
Right.
winds weren't there, you know. But they think it could be a failure in the computer system that's attached to
Mm-hmm.
the helm or something like that, to the steering or the engine. I don't know. But he's trying to figure it out. But I like it that he didn't pass blame.
Same here.
I like it. I like that. Like, that's a true captain for me. And it was kind of cute watching how the interior crew and the exterior crew were like each processing what happened. um wow, 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 wow. That made up for a whole season of nothing.
Oh my God, not nothing. But you're correct. But you're correct. But I mean, this whole show is just for me. It's just like oof, no. Like I said, you said so sorry. Captain Glenn did a great job. They just went through all the protocols and assessment. It was like, and they can't really figure it out. It really did seem like it was just one of those things that happened.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so it is what it is at this point, and I think that they moved forward very well. I really liked the
Mm-hmm.
way he handled it. He just did it so well. And
Yeah.
it's like, we've gone through everything. We can't figure it out. This is just one of those things. We just need to move on. It happened. There was
Yeah.
no dwelling. There was no fighting. It was just, this is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. They test out that back door
Mm-hmm.
where they store all the toys and everything, to see if that was still working, because apparently there's a little fin back there, and that's what actually saved the boat. It went between the cement, the concrete on the dock, and was able to go in between the cracks and push that up, but in the same time keeping the boat from really crashing into that dock. So that was
Right.
kind of cool, to hear about that. Um, with Gary's help, like shifting some of the debris out of the way, they got the door to open slowly, but it can open and close again.
Mm-hmm.
And they're moving on with the charter. So, yay. Um, their next, and they have 4 hours. Four
Right.
hours to do the testing, the painting, the door opening and closing, getting it all cleaned up again, inside and outside, before the new charter guests come, which are 8 women.
Mm-hmm.
Um, what'd you think about these guests?
Just they were just having fun, being wild. I'm like, they would. I couldn't. I would struggle with them because just the personalities, and then they start fighting with each other. I was like, wow, how are you fighting with each other on the yacht?
I would struggle with them because all of them have vocal fry. I could not take 8 Kardashians all at once. I don't like to hear people talking, "Oh my god, it's so amazing."
Oh my goodness,
I'd be
they
like,
were,
"Let me off, or I'm just jumping off, period."
and it was just weird that they would fight with each other. I'm like, what are you fighting about? And then the one lady was just super sensitive. I'm like, are you serious? If I'm mad at you, I'm not gonna fight with you.
Which one?
The brunette,
Blanca? B b what was her name?
Is it
Bianca?
Bianca? Is it Bianca?
Yeah, the one that was saying, "All of you are bullying me and slut shaming me." I was like,
Right.
"When?
Where?
Girl, you was just getting a massage."
Right.
And yeah, Jessica is a little uber sensitive because you came out in your embossed
Okay.
bikini,
Right.
and Jessica had a point. I don't want to make this political. It's embarrassing.
Mhm.
Um,
Mm-mm.
they all seem like divas. Erica and Jessica are the 2 primaries. Is that it? Or is it
That's the
Erica and
way
her mom? I can't remember.
I thought it was Erica and her mom.
Erica and her mom are the 2 primaries. Okay. Erica seems to be having a good old time, having a lot of drinks and just
Mhm.
enjoying herself. Jessica seems to be hypersensitive to everyone and everything. Um, and people's toenails. Didn't she freak out because somebody's toenails went into her? She's just
Yeah.
weird. And then Bianca or Blanca or whatever her name was, she seems oblivious to everyone else's feelings. She seems very
She don't
self-absorbed in
care.
herself.
She don't care.
Yeah. And Erica's mom, what did you think about that? Was Erica's mom who was down there with Allie talking her ear off while she was unpacking?
I feel so bad for
What
Allie.
was that? I felt like she was trying to make sure Allie wasn't gonna steal any of her, like, thongs or something, like, that was kind of weird.
It was
Oh
funny because
Lord.
Allie was struggling.
Mhm. Um, okay, so Jess catches Gary and Colin talking about the guests, and she reports it to Daisy.
Of course.
And then we have another major discovery. JL might have chlamydia again.
When he said
His
again, I was
junk
like,
is itching.
when he said again, I was like, okay, yeah, no, no,
And the producers
you're
were
just
so shady.
nasty,
They were like, "Well, how did you get it?"
right?
And he was like, "You don't wanna know. Long story."
Just nasty. Period. Point blank.
But, he goes yeah, yeah. He goes and he tells Danny, and I think this sends her into a meltdown.
He
She
was dumb
wants
for
to
doing
leave
that.
the season early.
He shouldn't have said anything until he knew the results. I'm
But I
sorry.
think
In these situations, I understand you're trying to like just like give them a heads up, but I think in this situation, it's just like you kind of you wait and see because you don't want things like this to happen and put someone um having them worry. But at 32, you should be more responsible. I'm sorry, you just should. Like at
but
32,
I
you would.
you think they were raw dogging
I mean, if he's concerned and then she's flipping out, I would think so.
them?
And that's just my opinion because if you would take necessary precautions, you wouldn't react the way you react. You would just be like, okay, thank you for the heads up. I'm gonna get checked too, just to be safe. But instead, you go into full
Oh,
meltdown. You want to leave. Get out of here.
no, 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 but remember she has a lot going on. Was it on the show or on Watch What Happens Live where she said, like, she had, a very close friend die or something like that?
This is on the show, but I'm sorry, that was weeks and weeks ago, so I'm not
Yeah.
gonna give her grace with that. Not at all.
So you think
Unless there's
she's
some
totally overreacting?
at this point, yes. Like I said, if you take the necessary precautions, then you would be concerned, but
Mhm.
not to this level. Unless there's something behind the scenes we don't really know about. I can only go by what I see on the
Mhm.
show. So from what I see, like you're overreacting.
Hmm.
Like I said, just
See,
to
what if I
reiterate,
float this
go
out
ahead.
to you? Mhm. What if I
Honestly,
float this
go
out
ahead.
to you? Okay,
Mm-hmm.
sh she ha I think we're having a little delay, so I do apologize. Um, eh 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 okay, so she's 32, he's 24-ish. Um, she had the hesitancy of getting involved with him because he was so much younger. Do you
Mm-hmm.
think her insecurities over that, plus the death of her friend, you know, all wrapped together, you still don't give her any grace for that? Nothing at
Not with the
all?
friend, no. Because if you were that upset with your friend, this would be a consistent theme throughout the show. She wouldn't think about her friend when she was out there drinking and like messing with him in the first place. So why all of a sudden like would that come into play? So
Hmm.
no, I'm not gonna give her grace with the friend. Now I think what really may have sent her off is if we go back a couple of weeks ago, she was like, "What am I doing? I'm
Mhm.
32. This is like she said I'm 32. What am I doing with my life? This is not my
Okay.
career."
Right.
Then later on in the season, she's like, "Now I'm working, and I'm hooking up with 24-year-olds. What am I doing?" Okay,
Yeah.
now you bring that forward a couple weeks later. He may or may not have given you an STD. Now you're really going to the spiral like, I'm 32. I'm too old for this. What am I doing? This is a
Yeah.
waste. I know better. I go
She's
more
just
in
being
that route.
hard on herself.
Yes, very
Okay.
hard.
Okay,
Hmm.
okay. Okay. So she's just making rash decisions.
Yes, and she feels like she's too old to be doing that.
Okay. Okay, okay. I just wanted to get a little bit of grace out of you for her because I like
Yeah,
Danny.
no, like Danny, I'm not gonna. I'll give grace where it's needed. I won't give you grace for the whole your friend dying. It's completely sad, but it wasn't a consistent theme throughout the show.
Mhm.
But what has been consistent is the fact that she's
Okay.
lamenting where she is in her life right now.
Right. Right. Okay. I can get that. Okay. I wanna touch on Natasha. I
Mm-hmm.
love Natasha, but Natasha's doing some ignorance that's getting on my nerves. She did tell them women that they was having a 5-course
The five
meal,
course.
and then all
Yep.
of a sudden changes it to a 3-course meal and doesn't tell them and thinks that because they're really drunk, they're not gonna know.
Okay, I'm gonna
I
give
didn't like that.
90%. Me neither. I'm gonna give 90% of the blame on Natasha. The other 10% goes to Daisy. Reason why is this: you were so big and bad on being on Natasha about this, and that, but Natasha said that there was gonna have 5 courses. When
Mhm.
you went down to the galley to ask Natasha like what's the menu, and she said, "Oh, I'm only going to do 3 courses because um, I think they appear to be drunk and won't eat too much." You said like, okay, if I, correct me if I'm wrong. I think Daisy said, okay, I think you may be right. So how are you gonna
Mm.
co-sign on the 3 courses and then get mad when there's only three
Mhm.
courses sent? Even yes, she said 5. We all see that, but if you felt some kind of way, you should have corrected that then and there.
You have a
If I
point.
were Chief Stew, what I would have said is like, Natasha, you may be right, but go ahead, cook the 5 courses just in case, and then what they don't eat, we can handle
The
that.
crew. Yeah, the
Yes,
crew can eat it. Um,
I'm pretty sure
I
Daisy
don't know
did
about
like
you. They but did after I drink, I wanna eat. I'm sorry, I do.
I'm starving.
Drunks eat.
Oh, my thing is the
Yeah,
best
like,
time
I
the
don't
best
know
time to
where
drink is
Natasha got that from.
the best time to
Go ahead.
drink is when you're eating, in my opinion.
Yeah. So
Mm-mm.
I was lost on what Natasha was saying is her excuse. I did not appreciate that she's doing that consistently throughout this season. She's got to
Yes.
stop doing that. She's got
Mhm.
to stop doing that. Um yay, yay. Okay, so Gary is still trying to go after Allie, but Allie is kind of like putting some distance now that she knows that he slept with Sydney,
Mhm.
and
I don't blame her.
he's not quite getting it. Yeah. He's not quite getting it, but that's her fault because she's not telling him. You can't be pushing
Right.
somebody away um, if you started up something with them without explaining it to them. So give
Totally
them that
agree.
much. Um,
Exactly.
let's see. Bianca wants a massage. And poor Danny has to give her the massage. The two other ladies go up. Jessica and Erica, they take the toys out. They do paddle boarding. Erica asks JL to paddle her out, whereas Jessica goes out on her own. And in the turn of an eye, a storm rolls in. So everybody hustles to get the paddle boards back in. The exterior crew tries to cover down everything. They take the outdoor dinner place setting and move it indoors. Who knew storms blew in like this in Croatia? Damn.
It came out of nowhere. I was like, whoa.
Mm-hmm. It suddenly just got really dark while they were out on the water. It was kind of crazy and like some
It started
lightning.
raining.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, the when Erica was coming up from getting dressed for dinner, she's like, "Oh my god, the boat is moving. I feel a little sick, Captain
Seasick.
Glenn. Can you
Seasick.
like
That's hilarious.
fix it?" And he was like, "No."
I like the fact she thought she was seasick versus being drunk.
Drunk.
That was the funny part for me.
Daisy had a good one liner. She's like, "No, you're not seasick. You're just drunk."
Yeah, it is what it is at this point.
Let's see. They have wait. I thought what Daisy said about Natasha. I know I'm all over the place with this. Um, but I'm just going to highlighted things. What Daisy said about Natasha for the first time was spot on. She's not a bad chef, but she doesn't communicate, so the consistency isn't there.
I agree with that. Daisy was.
I
I
thought that.
agree with you. She was.
Mm-hmm.
She was 100%. She was 100% right on that.
Mm-hmm. So JL tells Danny that he suspects something is wrong with his junk, and he's going to find out what. Danny goes into a tailspin. First, she tells Daisy what JL told her. And then she tells Natasha. And then she has some conversation. She's speaking Portuguese. I wasn't following along with the
Hmm.
translation. Did you know what the translation was saying?
Maybe she was just upset this shouldn't be happening and she wants to leave. That was the gist of the conversation.
Okay. Okay. And that's when she goes up and she tells Daisy
Hmm.
she needs to that she wants to go home after this charter and she doesn't want to be there. And we already discussed the women arguing about being bullied and all of that because that all
Right.
happens at the same time at the end of the episode. Anything else on the show?
No, it was fairly solid. Nothing spectacular, but solid.
Okay, so next up, we have The Real Housewives of New Jersey, season 12, episode 14, reunion part 1. I liked the decor. I'm going to see if I can find a picture, but I love the decor. It was
Hmm.
Jersey Shore, and
Yes.
I liked it. It looked like crisp, refreshing. Let's see. And comments on the girls' dresses. I'm gonna pull up a picture. Let's see. Share screen. This. All right. What do you think?
So let's see. Margaret. I thought Margaret looked good. Melissa looked
Mhm.
good. I like Jackie's dress. I think it hits her in the right places. Teresa, I could do without the
Mhm.
shoulder pads. They're not needed. Um, Dolores' dress looks good. Jennifer, for claiming how much money you have. I expected better. I'm just saying. It looks
Mhm.
like Neiman Marcus off the rack. It really does.
Mm,
It doesn't
interesting.
it doesn't
Okay.
flatter her. That's really what it is. It doesn't. It's too basic for her. You know what I mean? Because when you look down the line of the ladies, they all look good, and
Uh-huh.
she sticks out as the basic one.
To tell the truth, I actually liked Jennifer's dress. I hated her shoes. I've never been a fan of a white shoe. I'll preface that. But I actually liked Jennifer's dress because I thought that it fit in with the casualness of the Jersey Shore. I thought Margaret's dress was way too much material.
Yeah, I mean,
And
I like the dress itself, but it was too much material.
but I cut her some slack because she's of a particular age.
Mm-hmm.
So it was not my favorite out of everybody's. I did like Melissa's dress. The see-through part of it, the slit. It was just enough sequence. I liked it.
Mm-hmm.
Jackie's dress kind of looks like the dress that Ebony wears in the intro
Yeah, it's similar.
of New York.
It's similar, but Ebony's is long in the front.
Yeah,
The top is
and
similar.
mhm. And Teresa's dress
It's a shoulder pad for me.
kind of pageanty.
It's a
And
shoulder.
yeah, the
It's a
shoulder
shoulder pad.
pads
It's
were
a shoulder pad.
so exaggerated. Yeah. And then Dolores always looks really lovely. I like this dress. It gave me Grecian goddess kind of vibes. Yeah, and I actually like Jennifer's dress. I did.
Like I said, it's too basic for me. Too basic for her
Mhm.
because she has a great figure, and
Mhm.
it is. I mean, you can do white and semi short. It just doesn't work for her simply because it for some reason it doesn't. It just like I said, it just doesn't flatter her. I think clothes should flatter the woman, and this doesn't do her.
Do you
The
think
deal
it was
is the
too
dress.
conservative?
Yeah, it doesn't. This is the reunion.
Mhm.
You
Oh,
know,
you wanna bring
the
it.
you kind of have to. And again,
Mhm.
it doesn't suit her personality to me. I wanted a little bit more
Mm.
ba ba boom and gave me Nordstrom
Okay.
Track.
Okay. I can see that, but her hair and makeup looked really
Mm-hmm.
pretty though.
Yeah,
Yeah. I was disappointed in Jackie's hair. I
I'm not.
I
I'm
thought it
not
was like
because
really severe.
but for the dress she has on and her body structure and then her makeup, it fits the
Mhm.
dress. You know, So I know what you're saying. It's severe, but it works with this particular dress because
I
if she
think
had
my
had
problem
her,
is her ears.
be nice.
I don't know. And I didn't like her shoe either.
Let me
Oh god,
see.
I'm getting way too into this.
Mm, the shoes didn't quite go with the dress. That's all. But I know where
Yeah.
you're going.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, to just touch on Andy, um, he he matched his tie to the theme. Yay.
Hmm.
He does that every time. I didn't like the break in his trousers. That's about it.
Agreed.
Okay, so let's take this back down. All right, so on to the show itself. Anything stood out for you?
For me, no, because nothing was really. It was disjointed because Joe came out by himself to discuss the issues he and Melissa had. I kind of felt they kind of glossed over it a little bit. Nothing
Mhm.
was really said. He never just told her, "Look, I feel like I'm left behind." That's all that needed to be said.
Yeah, I want to go with you to all your
It's just
fancy events.
right. Hmm. I just felt this part one was filler because it was very like little ticky tack things. Nothing. They didn't come out the gate swinging like Potomac, and I know we're gonna judge reunions moving forward by Potomac. So they came out the gate swinging. I felt
Mhm.
these ladies came out with like little jabs. It was just all it's like watching an actual episode of the show versus things really getting resolved.
Well, it seemed to me like they had established their camps. You had Margaret, you had Melissa and Jackie in one camp, and then you had Teresa and Jennifer in the other camp, and poor Dolores was just Switzerland to me.
Yeah,
Um, you know, she's a champ. She's been doing this for years, riding the fence on all of these disputes and seeing it from both points of view and trying to, broker peace between these old hags. But to me, Jennifer came with a set agenda to attack Margaret and by default Melissa and back up Teresa in her attack on Jackie.
I
and
think it's a
and
bit.
this oops, that's what I'm scribbling. Oh, you can't even
Oh,
see it, but
not really.
yeah,
That's
that's
okay.
that's the strategy I have.
I think the problem is with Jennifer and that she doesn't understand. Like she's out of her depth with Margaret. I really feel Margaret holds back on the things that she says. Okay, so
Mhm.
Jennifer got mad that Margaret said that Bill was her meal ticket. I'm like, was it rude? Yes. Was it wrong? Like in terms of fact? No. And then Teresa jumping in, like, because Margaret brought up the fact, like, hey, like, what do you do outside of like raising your children with help?
Mhm.
And what Jennifer didn't understand what she meant. She's like, on your Instagram bio it says married to a plastic surgeon. She's like, but that's true. She's like, but what else is there? And then Teresa jumps in, like, well, what's wrong with that? He's a doctor. She's all like, I know he's a doctor, but what else is there? She's like, you wouldn't say like your husband, like you're married to a plumber. And then Margaret took offense, which is true. And I think with Teresa, one, as you have no husband, you shouldn't speak on husbands. I'm sorry, you just shouldn't. And
Mhm.
number two, your husband got you sent to jail. So I kind of think you need to sit down somewhere and mind your business.
Oh my
I'm
god.
just so that's how I feel her jumping in. Like, be easy. Like certain topics, like you shouldn't speak on. So Margaret defended her husband, which is great. Loved it. But these are the
Mhm.
type of things that this is Jennifer doesn't have the Jennifer is not a wordsmith. She can't hang with Jackie or Margaret what else? There was another issue that they had. Hold on a
Mm,
second.
hold
It was
on. Um, Jen did. Are you talking about Jen and her little attack?
yes. There's something else
She
that stuck out.
she said that Joe was being submissive to Margaret with towards
Yeah,
the end of the episode, which Margaret didn't take too kindly.
right. That's their dynamic. So
Mm-hmm,
if he's good with it, I'm good with it. And I will say this with Jennifer, she feels like she's being put down for being a stay-at-home mom, having help with her kids. And she did bring up the fact that she didn't get help with her kids until her fourth child. I'm like,
mm-hmm,
I get it. I understand it. I think what it is that women do it all the time with no help. Like there are women
mm-hmm,
out there with like 5, 6, 7 kids who do it with who are stay-at-home moms with no help. I think with Jennifer, she doesn't articulate the fact like she's like, I understand that women do this without help. I completely understand it. I completely get it. But why should I feel ashamed of being able to afford help?
mm-hmm.
Why should I be made to feel bad because I'm in a position to where I can afford the help. So that's not fair to me. And then she also brought the fact that she was with her
Mhm,
husband when he was a resident. So that I'm like, okay, that gives me some more
mhm,
insight. That's pretty cool that you were with him before he was an actual doctor. So you're just not some random
mhm.
chick who hopped on the plastic surgeon train. So I give her
Right.
respect for that. So I see her position on that, and I think the ladies um should give her a little more grace in that area because I'm sorry if I have 5 children, I would have some nannies too. I'm sorry, I
Mhm,
just would because
mhm.
could you imagine having 5 children and they all have to be homeschooled at the same time? Come on
Yeah.
now, everybody needs help.
There were 2 more incidents. I went through my notes and I highlighted them. Jen throws Margaret under the bus regarding the rumors regarding Joe Gorga not paying his bills, and Teresa backed up Jen. And then the last one, which is the very end of the episode, which is the cliffhanger, Jen then tells Jackie that Margaret is the cause of the Evan rumor.
So the
What'd you think about
whole
those?
the first one, what was the
She
first one
was a
again?
fire starter this episode. I'm sorry.
The
The
first one
first one
was
was Jen throws Margaret under the bus regarding Joe Gorga not paying his bills, and Teresa backed up Jen.
that Teresa has no credibility. So because if the reason why is that if you've heard that your brother doesn't pay his bills, why didn't you tell your brother beforehand? So I don't buy that. Next, and this just shows,
And then the
and
second, uh-huh.
if it's true, this just shows that Melissa and Joe are right when they say Teresa never steps in and defends them. So either
Mm-hmm.
way, Teresa keeps chiming in on things she should not chime in on because either a you didn't
Yeah.
tell your brother um you didn't
Sorry.
tell your brother. It's okay. You didn't tell your brother like people are saying this about him, so you didn't step in to defend him, or B, you're co-signing a lie about your brother. So either way, you lose. So this is why some people just
Mm-hmm.
sit down and shut up.
Yes.
And the
And then the
second
second
one
one,
is
which is what ends off the episode about Evan.
that one. Here's the thing: we all saw that her Joe told the guys at guys' night that he
The
heard
boys.
the boys night that heard the rumor. So
Yeah.
for me, that does give Jennifer some credibility on this one. So I'm waiting to see how Margaret gets out of this because Robert gonna be shady and roll that footage.
But here's the thing. I think she did hear something about it, but she chose not to
Oh,
give
do
it any
life.
credence.
Hmm.
Yeah. She chose
But
she's like, "I know these people. He's not like that. I don't believe it. It's stupid. It's BS."
but for me, it's the wording. She's not saying Margaret knew. She's saying Margaret's the cause. That's where I'm
Mm.
intrigued. How is Margaret the cause? So this is why I said this was kind of like watching an episode of the show. It's a little bit of filler, a little bit of spice, but not
Mhm.
reunion. I think we're going to get reunion next week.
In next week. And there's only
Mhm.
2 parts, right? There's not
I
3.
hope so.
Well, I mean, with only 13 episodes. Come on
I
now.
mean, come on now.
Anything else? Oh, did you like
No,
that Joe apologized to Dolores?
I did, but the funny thing is, and I hope everyone really takes this in and like understands where I'm coming from.
Mhm.
Dolores was not
Mhm.
offended because she's known Joe for like what 40 years now. So my
40
thing is,
years. Yeah.
if she's not offended, I'm not going to be offended on her behalf like the other ladies were. She was mad at the ladies for doing a poll. So I hope people really understand that, like, he
Mhm.
really didn't need to apologize because Dolores said she wasn't offended. And I think if Dolores was offended, she would have said so, but she wasn't. She was mad at her friends took a pull on
Mhm.
her relationship. She looks at Joe and Teresa as family, so you get extra
Yeah.
grace. And she understood like Joe like really loves her, like and is looking out for her. And like we also have to remember
Mhm.
that Joe like kind of like went in on Frank for doing what he did to Dolores, and they're super good friends. So
Mhm.
that for me, that tells
Mhm.
me a lot about George Gorga, and like like how much he truly cares for both of them. But he's willing to say like, hey, you
Mhm.
were dead wrong for what you did to her, and the position she's in is your fault. And I appreciate he may not always
Yeah.
communicate in the best way, but he really doesn't have um ill intentions like I feel like Teresa does when she says stuff.
Yeah.
I think
I think
Teresa's
Mhm.
go ahead.
Go ahead. Go ahead. No, no,
I
go,
said
go.
Teresa's quote unquote caring comes with malicious intent, and that's just my opinion. Where Joe Gorga just said it because he's truly concerned and he truly cares and loves. It's not for him. It's
And
not
I agree with
conditional.
you. Mhm. Mhm.
Teresa's is conditional, and only when she thinks it'll suit her. His is like always there.
Mhm.
So.
Like, I kind of agree with what he said, but where and when he said it
Mhm.
in front of like he was in that stranger's house. I consider the realtor lady a stranger. There were
Mhm.
other people there that I didn't know. Like, he has the right
Mhm.
to say that to her because he considers her like another older sister. And
Mhm.
he would fight for Dolores. Put it like this, like how he would fight for his wife and his sister, he would fight for Dolores. However,
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
he could have said that to her privately,
Correct.
not at that party
Mhm.
at that stranger's house.
No. Bad timing. Bad timing. Bad timing.
But yeah, yeah. He means the best. And
He
like you
really
said,
does.
he has trouble with the words,
Mhm.
but whatever. Poor Joe
Yeah.
Gorga. Oh, but it was a good start. And that ending, that cliffhanger
Yes.
ending
It was
between
the
Jen and
ending.
Margaret,
Mhm.
yeah, is what's hooking me to watch part 2.
Exactly.
So we'll
100%
see that
agree.
next week. And so basically anything else about the reunion?
Nope, that's it for me.
Okay, so basically this was Married to Medicine, and Below Deck Sailing Yacht, and Real Housewives of New Jersey Reunion Part 1. So we'll be back next week with brand new reviews on the next episodes of these 3 shows. Any final thoughts, Jamal?
No, that's pretty much it. Glad Shaw's is back. Glad Beverly Hills is back. So I'm excited.
Yeah, and New York. I'm glad
And
New
New York.
York is back too.
Mhm.
Yes,
They're
fresh
undercast, but I'm glad they're
faces.
back.
Well,
that's not a whole nother
It's hard
conversation.
to get people. It's hard to get people. But we've got one more lady coming as a
Rashawn, yes.
friend or
Mm-hmm.
something. So I'm looking forward to seeing her. So that's like we have hope, I
We
think.
do. Although,
Yeah. Yeah. So until next time,
of course. Bye.
bye.